Every day, over 69 million people step through the doors of a McDonald's. They come for the familiar taste, the consistency, the efficiency, and the convenience. They see a fast food brand, an icon of American capitalism that has spread to over 100 countries. To the average consumer, McDonald's is a food company. But this is the single greatest marketing illusion in corporate history. If you were to sit down with the company's CFO or a top-tier investment analyst, they would tell you a different story. In the 1970s, McDonald's CFO Harry Sonnenborn famously told investors, "We are not technically in the food business. We are in the real estate business." This was not just a clever quip. It was a fundamental shift in business strategy that turned a burger stand into a global juggernaut. Today, we are going to tear apart the golden arches to see what lies beneath. We will explore how a struggling milkshake machine salesman managed to buy the world, one street corner at a time. We will analyze the McDonald's loop, a real estate model that is so resilient that no economic recession has ever truly stopped it. We will look at how they turned the supply chain into a manufacturing marvel and how they used behavioral psychology to turn children into lifelong customers. This is the story of the hidden empire that feeds the world. To understand the empire, we must return to 1948 in San Bernardino, California. Richard and Maurice McDonald were struggling with a typical drive-in restaurant. They were trapped in the old model, a massive, complicated menu, slow service, and high turnover. They were losing money and getting exhausted. They made a radical decision. They fired their entire staff, closed the restaurant for months, and re-engineered the kitchen from scratch. They kept only hamburgers, cheeseburgers, fries, and shakes. They invented the speedy service system. It was, in essence, an industrial assembly line applied to the culinary arts. For the first time in history, food preparation was de-skilled. You didn't need a professional chef to cook a burger. You needed a machine-like worker who could perform one specific task repeatedly and perfectly. Then came Ray Kroc. Kroc was a 52-year-old traveling salesman selling milkshake machines. When he walked into that San Bernardino store, he didn't just see a good burger. He saw a model that could be replicated on every street corner in the United States. But Kroc faced a major problem. The McDonald brothers were risk-averse. They had no ambition to build a global chain. This led to the infamous conflict between the visionary and the inventors. Kroc bought the rights, but he quickly realized that selling franchise rights wasn't making him rich fast enough. The profit margins on burger supplies and franchise fees were too thin. He was drowning in debt. That's when he met Harry Sonnenborn, and the history of corporate finance changed forever. Sonnenborn's insight was brilliant in its simplicity. He argued that the company shouldn't be obsessed with the franchise royalties alone. Instead, McDonald's should identify the best possible real estate in a city, purchase that land, and then lease it to the franchisee. Here is how the McDonald's loop works. Instead of a franchisee picking a location, the corporation scouts the site. They purchase the land or sign a long-term, high-value lease. Then they sublease that property to the franchisee at a massive markup. The franchisee pays two types of costs: the royalty on their sales and the rent to the landlord, which is the corporation itself. This does two critical things. First, it gives McDonald's absolute control. If a franchisee doesn't follow the rules or fails to maintain the brand standards, the company doesn't need to sue them. They simply cancel the lease and kick them out. They already own the location, the infrastructure, and the customer base. Second, it turns the corporation into one of the world's largest real estate holding companies. They aren't just selling fast food. They are benefiting from the natural appreciation of real estate prices. In fact, McDonald's portfolio includes over $40 billion in real estate assets. This is the untouchable part of the business model. Even if the demand for hamburgers drops, the land underneath those stores keeps appreciating. McDonald's is essentially a bank that uses the burger business to secure its land-based investments. If one franchisee fails, the location remains, and a new tenant is ready to step in. But land ownership is only the foundation. Consistency is what built the global brand. In the 1960s, Fred Turner, a young grill man who became Kroc's right hand, pioneered the McDonald's Operations and Training Manual. It was 75 pages of absolute rigid instruction. It dictated everything: how many pickles go on a burger, the exact temperature of the grill, the duration of the cooking cycle, and even how to greet a customer. They forced their suppliers to innovate to match their scale. When McDonald's needed more consistent potatoes, they helped build the modern industrial frozen fry supply chain. When they needed millions of pounds of beef, they pioneered industrial meat processing techniques that became the industry standard. They built a supply chain so integrated that it was virtually immune to the volatility of the restaurant market. By the time a burger reaches your hands, it has traveled through a logistics web that functions like a high-tech manufacturing facility. This is why a Big Mac in Tokyo tastes almost identical to a Big Mac in New York. That predictability is the product that people are actually buying. Today, McDonald's is so deeply ingrained in our global landscape that it has become a macroeconomic indicator. The Big Mac Index is a legitimate tool used by economists to compare the purchasing power of different national currencies. However, this dominance comes with a heavy price. The company faces endless scrutiny regarding labor practices, nutrition, and environmental impact. Yet every time critics announce that McDonald's is dying, they look at the balance sheet and are stunned.
The company survives by constantly re-optimizing. They've moved into the digital age with self-service kiosks, mobile app ordering, and AI-driven predictive menu displays that change based on the weather, the time of day, and the local demand. They are not just selling food. They are collecting data on billions of transactions to predict exactly what you will want before you even walk through the door. They are the masters of the emotional trap. From the Happy Meal, which creates a positive psychological anchor in children, to the bright, warm colors of their interiors, everything is designed to make you feel safe and satisfied. They aren't just a business. They are a cultural institution. McDonald's is not just about fast food. It is a case study in how to optimize every single aspect of a business. They optimize the process, the assembly line. They optimize the revenue, the real estate model, and they optimize the experience, the global standard. The next time you see the Golden Arches, don't think about the calorie count. Think about the land under the building. Think about the complex logistical web that brought those specific ingredients to that exact spot. And think about how a 52-year-old milkshake salesman managed to buy the world, one street corner at a time. They won the game before it even started, by realizing that the most powerful position in the world isn't the one that makes the best product. It's the one that owns the location where that product is sold. If you found this deep dive into the hidden empire behind the Golden Arches fascinating, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, what is the most surprising thing you've learned today? See you in the next video.